Domitian was born in 51 AD to Vespasian. He had a brother and a sister, Domitilla the Younger, and Titus. Domitilla would eventually die, though. Vespasian always neglected him, and for this he resented him and always was an outcast. And Vespasian, when he died in 79 AD, leaving it to Titus. Titus raised his brother and gave him a lot more administrative duties. And under Vespasian, he got Suffolk consul, and so he already had some experience, not as much as Titus. But Titus actually made him consul and gave him a lot more administrative power, which would prepare him for his death. But he didn't know he was dying, he was just doing this because he was being nice. But eventually Titus would unexpectedly die in 81, having his brother take the throne, where one of the first actions he did was having a war with Chatti, a Germanic tribe that had been haunting the Romans for a long time. They were never a threat, but he just went and did basically lied, said it was like a full victory, even though it wasn't. It was pretty indecisive until it wasn't, and they actually got a new province that would last until Gallienus, when the Alemanni sacked it and just conquered it. But another thing he did was a war with Dacia after Dacia had been, raiding and crap. So he attacked them, but it was not going well, and it was going pretty poorly. So they were just fighting it, campaigning, but then he came back and did a lesser triumph, but still a military victory. He did this to show his disappointment with the soldiers, but they had to get a humiliating peace with the Dacians because of a revolt in Germania Superior. Although the governor of Germania Inferior would eventually put this down, so it was not a problem. Agricola's reassignment, as I said in Titus' video, he was campaigning in Scotland or Caledonia, and he was almost there. But Domitian had him reassigned to Moesia, where he would be. Eventually, because of this, he would split up the provinces into Moesia Inferior and Moesia Superior, where he could have more legions. One of the greatest things a Roman emperor ever did was restoring the civil purity. I cannot tell you how rare and important this was. He did many things, but this was probably his greatest achievement, because no other Roman emperor would ever do this out of the 100 plus, including Byzantine emperor. So this was incredibly rare. And you could say this marked the decline of the Roman economy after his death, because no other emperor would ever restore the purity, because they were just too lazy. And you could say it was caused the fall of the Roman Empire. But another thing that he commented, he had authoritarian tendencies, much like Tiberius. And he basically executed a bunch of senators, and he got way more paranoid at the end of his reign. So he had a very authoritarian. This would get him a lot of hate from the senatorial class. But let's talk, was he a good emperor? Overall, I would put him at S tier. Now, if you're not including him restoring the purity, I'd say he'd probably be A tier, along with Tiberius. But him restoring the economy and actually, truly fixing it. Vespasian, put band-aids on it, but Domitian truly fixed it and left a great economy for the Nerva-Antoine dynasty. So that's why I'd put him S tier, just because of that. No other emperor would ever have this accomplishment. So that's why he's there. He also got a province from the Chatti, held successful campaigns against them, but he didn't have cold pieces with the Dacians. He also put down Saturninus' revolt and brought stability to the empire. That was the end of the video. Please subscribe, and goodbye.